Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 23rd October 2025. So let's get started. Before getting started, I want to make a small announcement. We in our academy we are going to launch new batch for GS Prelims cum Mains Foundation, and actually in this course we are going to start with ethics. If you want to have only this separate ethics module also, we are providing that, and we are providing both on online and offline. And if you have any queries regarding this, please do contact us on this number 8074765513, guys. Don't miss this. And now let us see the important topics of the day that are there in our today's discussion. So first topic, it is about Union government proposes mandatory labeling of synthetic AI generated content on social media. So as you all know that because of artificial intelligence now, it is very easy to get whatever the information that you want. You can easily create images, you can easily create videos, whatever it may be. So actually what is happening here is, because of this AI generated content, it is increasing sharing of misinformation, disinformation, social media. And it is also very difficult to identify whether it is original content or AI generated content. So for that, now Union government gave mandatory labeling for this AI generated content on social media. So this topic is important from your governance point of view, which comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic is Ladakh delegates offered terms of Article 371 by government. So actually you know that because of this abrogation of Article 370 and as well as Article 335A, which talks about special category status of Jammu and Kashmir erstwhile state, which had been removed. So because of this, now Ladakh people are protesting to get this Schedule 6 category, right? But now government gave Article 371 to this Ladakh, not this Schedule 6. So this article is very important from your polity, which comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic is Kerala to be first state free of extreme poverty. Especially recently, CM of Kerala announced that Kerala is free of extreme poverty. And actually in the world, the first country which came up with this kind of declaration is China. And later on, in India, we have this Kerala announced this kind of statement. So this is very important from your society where you are studying about this poverty. And next topic is Great Green Wall in AP to save coastline from degradation. So this article is very important from your environment and ecology. Here you have to see what is this Great Green Wall and what are the key features of this wall. And next topic is NHAI, that is National Highways Authority of India, to develop 3D sensors to identify potholes, road cracks across 23 states. So as you all know that accident is one of the major cause of deaths in India. So now National Highway Authority of India is using science and technology, that is they are deploying this 3D sensor to identify potholes and as well as cracks. And this topic is important from governance and as well as science and technology from GS paper 3. And next topic is tapping the shine. So actually it is talking about one important thing regarding India's green energy like that. So this article is important from your environment and ecology from GS paper 3. Okay, now let us see one by one in detail. So see the title, guys. What it is saying? Union government proposes mandatory labeling of synthetic AI generated content on social media. So this article is talking about majorly AI generated content. Okay. So the keyword in this article is AI generated content. So first you have to see what is this artificial intelligence. First important basic thing. And next you have to see which kind of content can be created by using AI. And next you have to see what are the concerns of this AI generated content. Okay, now you have to see what are the measures taken by our government to control this menace. So in this measures, now you have to add about this labeling of content, guys. Okay. And even you have to think about what can be done further, what is way forward, how can we take extra measures to control this problem in our country. So here, these 3 points, from these 3 points you can expect prelims based question and measures and way forward. you may get mains based question case, and you have to be very careful, and it is one of the important step taken by the government. Okay, now let us see the context. Union government proposed mandatory labeling of AI generated and synthetic content on social media platforms. So, through which act government came up with this change? You have to remember that. Government came up with IT, Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines, and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021. So, actually, according to these rules, now Government of India came up with this proposal that whatever the AI generated, whatever the synthetic content which we are going to post in this social media, there should be compulsory labeling of that. Okay, and this move, why government came up with this move, is to curb the spread of deep fakes. What is deep fakes? Morphing of images, morphing of videos, and misinformation and impersonation resulting from the misuse of AI generated tools. So especially we are using this AI generated tools, right? For example, we have Gemini AI, we have Perplexity, we have ChatGPT, like that. We have different AI generated tools, and we are using them, and we are finally misusing these AI tools. So especially to curb this deep fakes, misinformation, and misusing of this AI generated tools, now government came up with the strict rules of labeling of that content which we are posting in the social media, guys. Okay, if you see the further details, so this draft defines synthetic generated information as the content which is artificially created. So what is this synthetic? It is nothing but artificially created or altered or modified through AI tools, so that it will appear something like authentic data. And all AI generated content, including images, videos, audio, must carry a visible or audible label covering at least 10% of display area or initial 10% of duration. That means if you're posting any images on that, we have to give a disclaimer AI generated. If it is a video, first 10% of duration of this playing of video, we have to give a disclaimer that AI generated, so that we can provide awareness to the people that this is synthetic data. And actually platforms that designated as synthetic social media intermediaries, they must, that means whatever the social media platforms are there, so for them also there are certain rules and regulations they have to follow based on this IT rules of 2001. So what are those rules are? Ask uploaders to declare if their content is AI generated or not. First one is they have to ask their users before they are uploading any image or any video that it is AI generated or not. Even if you are uploading any video in YouTube, so they will be asking one thing, whether it is made for the kids or not kids content. So in the same way, every social media has to incorporate this, whether it is AI generated or not. And next one is use technical verification tools to confirm the declaration. So after they give yes or no, again they have to use their tools and they have to confirm whether this image or this content or this video is AI generated or not. And next one here is they have to use tags or visible watermarks that cannot be removed. And actually, what are the watermarks they are using? So they should not remove these watermarks. And next one is any failure to comply that could lead to the loss of safe harbor immunity under IT Act. So if any social media platforms you are not following these rules and regulations, they can be punishable under this IT Act. And this one is public feedback on the draft is open till November 6th, guys. So if you want to give any suggestions, you can give suggestions to the government. Okay, till November 6th. So this public feedback they are allowing regarding this mandatory labeling of synthetic content. Clear? And now what are the reasons why this kind of restrictions the government is coming up with? The first one is rising of deep fake threat. Deep fake audio, deep fake images, and as well as videos, you're rapidly spreading on social media. Because of this, there is spread of misinformation, disinformation, which is creating chaos in the society. That is the first important reason. And second one is election and societal impact. Deep fakes can also mislead voters, that can incite communal tensions, and also that can manipulate public opinion in elections. Okay, so because of this, it is having a serious threat on our democracy itself. and India is well known for democracy. So because of this AI generated content, it is having impact on our democracy and even social harmony. So because of this, yes, we are taking this kind of step. And next one is international parity. Yes, even what is happening, China came up with this AI labeling rules in recently in September 2025, and even UK also came up with Online Safety Act in 2023, and European Union is also going to come up with the AI Act in 2026. So because of this, yes, we have to have that kind of international rules and regulations regarding this AI generated content. So because of this also, India is moving forward to come up with these rules. And next one is, especially government wants to maintain trust, and especially in this digital ecosystem, and we have to distinguish which is authentic information, which is synthetic or AI generated information. So for that also, government is taking the steps. So these are the things that you have to remember. First, you have to know what is the context, why it is in use. Next, what is this AI? What are the AI related content? And next, you have to see why government came up with these rules now, and what is its impact, and what are the provisions. Okay, so all these things that you have to remember, guys. And now let us see the next article. Look at the title. Ladakh delegates offered terms of Article 371 by government. So this article is talking about Article 371, and you have to see about Ladakh demands. So if you want to know about this article, you have to know the brief background. So if you go back to 2019, exactly on 5th and 6th of August, our government of India took one bold step, that is removal of Article 370 and Article 35A. So these two articles talks about what? Special category status for Jammu and Kashmir. So after removal of these two articles, our government came up with Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019 and divided this erstwhile Jammu and Kashmir state into two UTs. One is UT of Jammu and Kashmir and next one is UT of Ladakh. At that time, our government assured that giving of statehood back to Jammu and Kashmir. So now actually the people of Ladakh are 97% belongs to this tribal community. And these tribals, they have their own distinct culture and they have to preserve their culture. And because of this removal of the special category status, now non-Ladakh people, that means who are not this area of people, local people, outside this Ladakh people also can buy lands in this Ladakh. So because of this, what happening here is there is a threat for their culture and even there is threat regarding their land rights. So because of this, the protests are happening in this Ladakh, and this Ladakh people, they are demanding for what? Sixth schedule. So normally in which areas we can implement this sixth schedule? In tribal areas, right? So at present, in which state this sixth schedule is implemented? AMMT. Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. It is not Manipur, okay. Okay, so what is advantage if any area got this sixth schedule? They can now establish their autonomous district councils. Yes. So here now through this autonomous district council, they will be having rights in their land and they can have their reservation in their jobs and even they can take decisions regarding their culture, tradition, everything. So Ladakh is demanding for this inclusion of this Ladakh in this sixth schedule. But now government took a bold step. So government said that we are not going to give this sixth schedule. We can include Ladakh in this Article 371. So actually Article 371 talks about special category status. So when this states will be getting the special category status, in yesterday's society class I said, if there is any difficult terrain and even population, and next what are the other criteria that I said in yesterday's class? The area which is having difficult terrain, topography, and this one is population and lack of development. So then they will get this status called as special category status. And now the government said that we are going to give space for this Ladakh in this Article 371. So actually different states in our country had this special category status, and even Andhra Pradesh. Yes, we have 371A, 371B, 371C, and even especially Hyderabad, Karnataka region will be getting reservation under 371J category, right? So in that same way here, Ladakh will be also getting space under this Article 371. They will also get special category status. That is the thing which mainly said now. Okay, now let us see in detail. Union government has offered Ladakh delegates constitutional safeguards under Article 371 to address their core concerns. What are their core concerns? They are fighting for land rights, they are fighting for job, and as well as culture protection. So they said that we are not going to give sixth schedule because it is for northeastern states. So we can give special category under this Article 371. Okay, this development came during this high-level talks between Home Ministry and the leaders of this Leh Apex body and Kargil Democratic Alliance. So actually recently the talks happened between this Home Ministry and certain organizations in this Ladakh region, and finally they came up with this settlement. Okay, so the center proposed extending this Article 371 like provisions. So here whenever we are extending this Article 371 like provisions, that leads to protection of land ownership, employment rights, cultural identity of Ladakh residents. Okay, under this model, there are also limitations will be placed that non-residents of this Ladakh cannot go for buying of land and cannot avail government jobs in this Ladakh. Okay, so here now onwards, Ladakh will be also enjoying this category or like Article 371A, which is given to Nagaland, and Article 371Z Mizoram. So in the same way, this Ladakh will be also enjoying the special category status. Okay. And under this proposed framework, it can ensure 80% of reservation in government job for locals in this Ladakh, guys. Okay. So what are the positive impacts of this move? First one is now this Ladakh people can safeguard their culture. And next one is they will be also having economic security. How? So they can have reservation of 80% for this locals in that government jobs in Ladakh. And next one is it can also reduce regional discontent, and they can establish political stability in that region. And apart from that, they also have policy flexibility as well, guys. So these are the advantages of this. And see this article, guys, Kerala to be first state free from extreme poverty. Very, very important article. So from which subject we can see this, guys? Tell me, online students, from which subjects we can see this? Society. In society you have this poverty. Apart from this, where you can connect this topic? Poverty from only society. Economy, next. Economy, society, and even governance also. Yes. Okay, so what is this article is saying that Kerala to be first state free of extreme poverty. That means what you have to see, what are the dimensions you have to see? Come on guys, what are the dimensions you have to see? It is talking about poverty free, right? Kerala is free from poverty. First of all, you have to see what is the definition of poverty, what World Bank says and what IMF says. And next one is you have to see how we measure poverty in India, multi-dimensional poverty index. Yes, you have to see that. And that multi-dimensional poverty index, what are the features that we'll see? That we discuss clearly in our society class. And next, you have to see committees related to this poverty. So, which is the latest and recent committee regarding this poverty? Yes, Rangarajan committee. And you have to see the series of committees, and you have to see like what is the criteria they set. Okay. And next, you have to see Kerala is saying now that poverty free. That means what are the measures taken by Kerala to overcome this poverty? We have to see that. Yes, especially we have to see that what is a scheme that Kerala came up with this, and you have to see what are the features of this scheme, and you have to see whether can we implement the same kind of schemes in other states of India also. Yes or no? So if only this Kerala is free from poverty, is it enough? So we have many states, we have many UTs, and we have this problem of poverty throughout our country. So if Kerala is success in this overcoming of this challenge, so we can also learn like how we can implement that similar kind of schemes in other states also. So that thing that we have to think. Okay, now let us see the context. Kerala is set to become India's first state and only the second region in the world after China. So this is the one great thing that we had achieved, guys. So it is the second region in the world after China to be declared free of extreme poverty. And actually, this declaration is very, very important because in our sustainable development goals, we have this SDG 1. What is it? It says zero poverty. That means we are very much close to achieve that, yes or no? So actually, because of this declaration, which landmarks in our Indian social policy landscape, which highlights Kerala's success in achieving one of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and it is 5 years ahead of schedule. So when we have to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, that is 2030. Now in 2025 itself, Kerala declared, that means Kerala is 5 years ahead of this target. If you see the details, it says that here what is the reason why this Kerala became this poverty free is because of one important scheme. Please make a note. Extreme Poverty Eradication Program. Extreme Poverty Eradication Program. Try to make this note in your society also in poverty chapter, guys. So here Kerala came up with this Extreme Poverty Eradication Program and it launched in year 2021, guys. And what are the important things under this extreme poverty index were? So they identified around 64,006 families. They were extremely poor across 14 districts of Kerala. First, they went for survey and they found 64,000 families are extreme poor. And after that, they came up with the identification of indicators. So what led to classify them as extreme poverty? They took some indicators like food access, housing, livelihood opportunities, health, education, and social security. This regarding our multidimensional poverty only. And each family is now provided with a micro plan tailored to their needs. For example, certain families will be not having proper job. Certain families will not having livelihood. Certain families will not have food security. Based on their needs, for every family they came up with micro plan, which covers income support, life mission housing, healthcare, education, social entitlements. And they spent around 1,000 crore rupees on this from last 4 years. And finally, yes, all these families were out of extreme poverty. Okay, so because of this, they declared Kerala as poverty-free state in India. Clear? So in that way, you have to think like what can we do in other states also. Which is the poorest state in our country? Bihar, Rajasthan. Okay, find out which are the top 5 poorest states in our country and you have to see what are the reasons why they are poor and think like what can be done. Okay. And say this article, guys, very important article of the day. Title says Great Green Wall in AP to save coastline from degradation. So what is this article talking about? Great Green Wall. Okay. And why they are coming up with this? Because of coastline degradation. Okay, what are the 2 keywords? First one is coastal degradation. To prevent this coastal degradation, which state is coming up with this program? AP is coming up with this Great Green Wall. So there are 2 important keywords in this title. Yes. So first one is coastal degradation. So here we have AP, right? Yes, this is the location of AP. So first you have to see coastline length. So what is the coastline length of AP? According to new estimates, not old. So you have to, especially AP guys, you have to find out what is the coastal line length of AP. And next you have to see about what are the important reasons for this degradation of coastline or coast areas degradation. Why it is happening? Come on, tell me. Online students, please comment in the comment box. What are the reasons why there is degradation of coastal areas in AP? Have you been to this beaches in AP? AP is also very much famous for the beach. Do we have clean beaches as we go to Goa? Okay, when we are comparing with this Goa and AP, where we have clean beaches? Goa, it is not in AP. Why? What is the reason? Why there is degradation of coastal areas? AP is very much vulnerable to what? Cyclones, yes or no? Cyclones will hit this AP. And apart from that, other reasons why there is degradation of coastal areas. After this class, find out the reasons, guys. And I'll give you the main question on this. If I give the question, then you will work on it, right? So first you have to know the length of our India's coastline. So what is India's coastline length? 11,098 kilometers, right? So you have to see especially AP coastline because that is in news. And next you have to see what are the reasons for this degradation of the coastal areas. And now you have to see what are the measures taken by the government so far. In that measures you have to add this. And next you have to see about what is the way forward, what can be the measures that you can suggest to the government. And next one is you have to know in detail about this, what is this Great Green Wall project, where it is located exactly in this AP region, and what are the important features of that. You may get regarding that also. Okay, so now let us see the context. AP has launched a massive environmental initiative that is called as Great Green Wall, and actually it is 5 years coastal afforestation and protection project, and it is focusing on 1034 kilometer long coastline. Actually this AP is having the second largest coastline in our country, guys, and actually this coastal area is having this frequent coastal erosion, cyclones and sea level rise are the major threats which are seen in this region. So to counter the challenges, they are going to come up with 5 years coastal afforestation. What is meaning of afforestation? We are going for planting of trees. That is called as afforestation. And which kind of plants we can grow in this region? Salt tolerant. That means nothing but mangrove forest. Yes, mangrove plants, mangrove trees. Okay, let us see this project. This project will create continuous green bioshield along this state's coastal belt from Srikakulam to Tirupati. And they are going for integration of mangrove restorations, not only mangrove, they are going for palm plantations and community-led agroforestry. So these are the 3 initiatives they are going to come up in this Great Green Wall. So what are the key features? The first one is, you know about this mangroves. Mangroves are nothing but salt tolerant plants. They're very, very important because they will protect coast, especially from this high tides, waves, especially during this cyclone time. And next one is palm trees. You know this palm trees, right? Especially in the sandy coastal belts, they will be having strong winds. So to stop that strong winds, we need to have this tall plants. Do you know this palm or toddy plants? They're very tall, right? So they will withstand in the strong winds, and even they can also withstand in this salt water also. And next one is casuarina, cashew, cassava and shelter bells. So they are going to limit or minimize the soil erosion across the coastal regions. And this one is they are also going for urban coastal green corridors, especially around the ports of Visakhapatnam, Kakinada, Krishnapatnam, Machilipatnam, and some even industrial zones like Visakhapatnam, Chennai corridor also. They are going for green corridors inside. And this one is they are focusing on especially community participation. They are encouraging the self-help groups, eco clubs, fisher folk associations, and workers under this MG Narega go for this afforestation drives. And this one is from where they are getting funds. So they are going to get funds from this CAMPA. What is this CAMPA? Compensatory Afforestation Fund. Okay, so actually if you are going for any development project, we have to go for cutting of trees, right? So whatever the trees that we are cutting in one place, so according to this compensatory afforestation, it says that if you cut down 1,000 trees, try to plant 1,000 plants in another area. So for that, we are saving certain funds called as compensatory afforestation fund. So from that fund, they are going to use this project. And this one is they have green credit program, and we have MG Narega program. Do you know this MG Narega? What does this MG Narega is about? Providing 100 days of compulsory employment for rural areas, right? So under that, they are going to give work regarding afforestation, planting of trees and watering of trees, maintaining of trees. And next one is Mishti scheme, very very important. This Mishti scheme is focusing on mangrove initiative. It is nothing but that is nothing but saving of our mangroves program. So under that also they are going to develop this mangroves in this AP now. And apart from that, they are using like district mineral funds and corporate social responsibility partnerships. So they are using all this to fund this program now. So what is the impact, guys? So we have environmental impact. So first one is because of this great green wall, we are going to reduce coastal erosion. Yes or no? First one is we can go for cyclone and tsunami mitigation, especially these dense mangroves and shelter belts. They absorb wind and tidal energy, so that the intensity of these waves will be less in these coastal regions. And next one is we can also focus on erosion and flood control. We can manage that efficiently. And next one is we are increasing afforestation. That is nothing but we can absorb more amount of carbon dioxide. That methodology or that mechanism is called as carbon sequestration. And next one here is socio-economic impact. We are going to generate employment under this MG Narega scheme, and even we are using this Kampa funds so that we can create employment opportunity, especially coastal areas. Women in these coastal areas, they are going to get livelihood opportunities now. Next one is livelihood enhancement by craft farming. If you are going for development of mangroves, that mangroves is very very rich in biodiversity, right? So recently Sundarbans, what they are doing, we discussed. Sundarbans are going for eco-friendly shrimp farming, yes or no? They are using whatever the leaves, dried leaves, litter from this mangroves as a natural food for this prawns in that region. So that led to increasing of tiger prawns in that region. That led to the livelihood for 42 farmers in that region. We discussed no one case study. Can you recall that? Paindanta. Very good. So here we are going to provide proper livelihood by enhancement of this mangroves also. And next one is we can also reduce the disaster cost. Yes or no? And next one here is we can promote inter-agency coordination, especially forest, agriculture, fisheries, rural development departments, so that we can focus on sustainable development in this coastal regions, guys. Clear? Any doubt? Okay, and we can also achieve this SDGs 15, which talks about life on land, and even SDGs 13, climate action. Okay, and let us see the next article. See the title, guys. NHAI, National Highways Authority of India, to deploy 3D sensors to identify potholes, road cracks around across 23 states, guys. Very very important article. So as you all know that road accidents are the one of the important major cause of accidents in India. For every 3 minutes one accident is happening, and there is loss of life in our country, right? So because of road accidents, it is having huge impacts on the society. Society also having like impacts where if a bread earner in a family dies, then what happens? Entire burden on the family will shifted to the female. That will leads to feminization of poverty. And even from now onwards, government has to give pensions to that widow woman, and even government has to provide scholarship or employment opportunities or reservation for that so and so family in jobs and education system. So that entirely because of this accident is having huge impact mentally, physically, and on governance, on economy, on society, whatnot. So because of this, now already we are moving forward in developments in science and technology, right? So now we are going to use this 3D sensors, and by using these sensors you can see where are this, can you see this cracks on the road? Especially during the summer season we can see these cracks on the road, and especially during this rainy season we can see potholes. Potholes means nothing but the holes will be there on this roads. So in rainy season what happens? Can we see that potholes? If you're going, what happens? You may fall down and that may leads to accident, right? So here now we are using this 3D sensors, and especially in 23 states, and we are using this to improve riding experience of commuters and to minimize the accidents. Especially it is the part of maintenance of roads, guys. So laying of roads is not important, but even the maintenance of roads and regular inspections, and if there is any damage we have to go for covering that. Everything is important, right? So for that, National Highway Authority is taking this decision, guys. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So here you have to see what is the impact of this move. And let us see the next article. So this article is talking about India must step in a supplier of solar power to sustain its industry. So recently there is one article regarding this critical minerals, and recently there is one article regarding solar missions in Africa. So India is extending our two missions. What are those two schemes? PM Kusum and PM Suryaghar Muft Bijli Yojana in Africa also. So for that, what we need? We need solar panels. Yes or no? So do we have critical minerals? So recently we identified that there is a huge reserve of critical minerals which are there in this Jammu and Kashmir region. And recently we saw that government is also going for auctioning of mines. Yes or no? Did we discuss that? So if you are having a potential of exploring that critical minerals, then what can we do? We can make our solar panels in our country. We can decrease our dependency on countries like China and Korea, from where we are getting the semiconductors and photovoltaic cells, which are very, very important in this solar energy. So here this article is saying that especially we have to go for our efficiency in enhancing or harnessing of the solar power, case. India should be the world leader of supplier of this photovoltaic cells. And actually this article is saying that India generated around 1,08,494 gigawatt hour of solar energy, and it is even surpassing China's capacity, guys. Actually, sorry, Japan's capacity. Actually, Japan is one of the third largest producer of solar power after China and US. And India surpassed this Japan's power of solar energy. That means India is the third largest solar power generator in the world. First one is US and second one is China. So actually India is having a good capacity of increasing of its solar power to 2 gigawatts in 100 gigawatts in 2025. So because of this, this article is saying that we have to go for increasing of manufacturing capacity of the solar panels, so that we can have much more increased potential of harnessing of solar energy, guys. So that is the thing, nothing more than that. So they gave the data. The data is not that much important. You can't even remember that data. So just remember only one thing. So in the world, US, China are the top generators of solar energy, and even India crossed Japan's capacity, and India now is the third largest producer of solar energy in the world. And if you're going for exploring of critical minerals through this mining auctioning process, we can produce our solar panels in our country, so that we can increase our potential of harnessing solar energy in future, so that we can attain our targets of 2070, that is carbon neutrality by 2070. And we can also achieve our INDCs, intended national determined contributions, and we can also achieve our Paris climate deal goal of decreasing of global warming by 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees centigrade. Okay, in this way you have to interconnect everything, guys. That's it, nothing more than this. So these are the important topics that appeared in our today's in the newspaper. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this class and share this class. And if you want to join this ethics module, which is going to be started from 25th of October, guys, on 25th we are going to have orientation session on this ethics class. So try to join that. We are providing both on online and offline. And if you have any queries regarding that ethics course, you can call on this number 8074765513, or else you can text on this number as well. And don't miss this opportunity, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and you can follow us on our Telegram channel, where we are providing the notes of this class. And you can also follow us on our Instagram page, where we are providing prelims question with answer mains question with model answer and also current affairs in short. So after once this class is done, I will be also providing one prelims based question in our YouTube community. Try to solve that question, guys. Thank you so much.